Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. Thank you for joining me as always. Today I've got a bit of a Q&A sort of thing going on. All my videos recently, I find I've been answering a lot of the same questions over and over and over. So I thought I'd do a little Q&A. Never done a Q&A before, so you didn't realize it was going to be a Q&A, but the comments told me the common question. So here it is. Now the first thing, no, I am not going to win this race. No, I'm not going to. No, I'm going to be beaten by days, like days. I never ever thought of winning the race. I didn't enter with the intention of winning the race. This is about challenge. This is about adventure. This is about pushing myself. I'm not racing to beat anyone else. I'm not racing to, try and just swing my junk around, that's not me, that's not how I do it. I'm not really that fussed about my final finishing place. I don't want to look back on the race and sort of think like, oh, well, I didn't finish where I wanted to, that was crap, I did a bad job, what a waste of time. This is about adventure, fun, challenge. Not in it to win it, not even in it to beat anyone specifically. This is about me, I'm gonna ride my race, I'm gonna do what I have to do. Yes, I am going to stay in hotels as much as is practical. It's common for people in these races to use hotel. Here is a quote from Lael Wilcox, who won the Trans Am last year, saying she spent roughly half the nights in hotels, half the nights in a bivvy. People do it. It's normal. Winners do it. Everybody, as far as I'm aware, has stayed in hotels when they could. There are some people in the race who have been very vocally talking about they're not going to stay in hotels. That's fine. That's their choice. For me, again, not in it to win it. I'll stay in hotels when I can. No problems. How will I charge the Di2? With the charger. What happens if the Di2 runs out of batteries? I'll charge it. But seriously, a lot of people really freaked out about the idea of using Di2. Di2 lasts for thousands of kilometers. I could get through the whole race charging it once, but I'm not going to. I'm going to charge it more often than that just to be safe. And that's fine. I'm going to stay in hotels. I can charge it easily. No worries. A lot of people really dislike my choice of tires. Now, the reason I've chosen these tires is because I'm a big believer in having the widest tire that your frame will allow. It's why I bought that Curve. I wanted a big wide tire. I've got it set up tubeless and I can run it at really low pressure. So this morning I rode it around for a little while. I had 50 PSI in the back and 40 PSI at the front. I could go lower than that, no worries. What I chose was a tire that would get me through the whole race without having to change them and would be very safe so I wasn't faffing around with punctures. A lot of people are going on about rolling resistance. I'm not in it to win it. I said at the start of the video, not in it to win it. Maybe I will be slower than if I'd chosen a faster rolling tire. I will definitely be slower. But that's fine. That's the decision I've made. I wanted to ride in a safe, sustainable way and a low maintenance way. I'm not going to have to fix punctures, theoretically, hopefully, fingers crossed. If someone gets a puncture, 20 minutes of faffing around or more, 2 punctures, patching tubes, changing tubes, all that sort of stuff. If your tire gets a really bad cut, that's all time wasted. So yeah, it is a little bit slower rolling, but I'm going to run it at really low pressure. I'm going to have comfort gains from it as well. That's just what I've done. So I made the whole video about not riding with a dynamo, but people still really freaked out about it. That's fine. I'm staying in accommodation really often. It's not that hard. As I said, every 2 or 3 days, stay in accommodation, charge everything up. No worries. Now this is one that hasn't really popped up on YouTube itself, but a lot of people in sort of the world have been talking to me and saying like, but you could just hide something on the side of the road, or you could just have someone give something to you. Why would I do that? This is a 5,500 kilometer personal challenge. I'm not looking to cheat. I don't want to beat anyone through being dodgy or doing something crap. I could cheat. Yeah, it would be easy. It's a big country and I live in it. I could go a couple of Ks from my house to where the course actually goes through and bury something. I don't know. I could do it quite easily. I'm not going to do it. There are people who have come from overseas. There are people who will ride their absolute skin off to take 50th place in this race. It would be so awful. I would hate myself if I cheated or did something bad or gained a really unfair advantage. So I'm not going to cheat. I'm not going to do anything dodgy. Yeah, my gears are a little bit weird, but that's kind of just, I did what I had to do to try and give myself the best setup for what I need to do. And that's what everybody does. Here's a picture of Mike Hall's bike. Look at these friggin' gears. He's got a 25 on the back. He's got massive chain rings on the front. And that's what he's going to race with. He's on the record. He said it on Facebook. Those are his gears for the race. That's how he's going to race it. What a hard bastard. That's fine. He's also got 80 mil carbon clinches. Oh my god, that guy is a nutcase. It's obviously not how I do it because I haven't done that, but it's fine for him. Jesse Carlson, here's his setup. Look at that, it's a one by. That's just what he's chosen. Everybody does what they think is best with the information that's available to them. These are people who have won races. These are legends. These are giants of the sport, but everybody's making their own decisions. If you ever choose to do a race like this, you'll probably do the same thing. You'll weigh up cost, you weigh up weight, rolling resistance, all this sort of stuff goes on and on and on. It bounces around through your brain and it does your head in. I've just done what I think is the best, most sustainable and most responsible thing that will get me through to the race. Again, not in it to win it, that's all. Now that's true, this bike is not very light, but that's okay. That's just the decision that I've made. Again, it's all about sustainability, reliability, and consistency. A carbon frame, plenty of people do it on carbon frames. I know people who are doing it on carbon frames. That's fine. Carbon is not the most resilient material. Titanium is probably more able to handle, say you just have a minor crash or it falls over. It's easy to crack carbon. It's a bit harder to really damage titanium in a way that would put you out of the race. So yeah, it's not a light bike. And I am gonna have to haul that thing up some pretty high mountains. But you know, I have a lot of gears and that's just the decision that I've made. So that's kind of it. Those are a few of the things that people have been really focusing on in the comments. I hope that gives you some sort of insight. I don't feel like I've done the wrong thing. Everyone's kind of trying to tell me I've done it wrong, but I haven't done it wrong. There's nothing to say that a mechanical drivetrain on that same bike wouldn't have failed as well. If something on that bike fails and puts me out of the race, you know, shit happens. That's just the nature of the activity. That's what happens. If I had hypothetically run a mechanical drivetrain rather than an electronic, that could have gone wrong in its own way. You know, a derailleur could just fail and explode for no reason. There's all kinds of stuff, like a kangaroo could run into the side of me. Yes, that has happened to me before, and it was shit. That could happen to me on this race. There are no guarantees. All I've done is try to put the bike together in such a way as to be as reliable, low maintenance, and sustainable as possible. And also comfortable. It's a pretty comfortable bike. So I hope that gives you some sort of insight into the way I'm approaching this race. I know that some other people who are doing the race and are also on YouTube are sort of talking up a big game. They're, you know, throwing around really big numbers. That's not my style. I don't want to get into that. I'm going to do the best that I can. And yeah, follow along. Thank you so much for coming to the channel. Thank you for engaging, even though a lot of people have been telling me I've been doing it wrong and I'm making terrible decisions. I'm going to fail. I'm going to be stuck in the nullarbor with no power. I'm going to die. I'm going to have to eat kangaroos. Yeah, look, it's fine. Thank you for coming and engaging. Thank you as always. That'll do for now. Stick around, watch some more videos, subscribe, all that jazz, comments, thumbs up, whatever. Thank you. See you next time.